Hello, thank you for watching the second upload to this channel. This is going to be a review of the Omega Constellation, a very famous classic piece made by Omega. This is a piece that I own personally, it's not borrowed, and I've had it for about probably a year and 9 months, something like that. So I've had quite a lot of experience with the piece. As ever with these videos, I'm not going to go into really detailed histories and intricate sort of details. I'm just going to be talking about it from the point of a consumer, which is what I hope will appeal to most people interested in these pieces. Obviously Omega has a huge watchmaking history, formed in the 1800s at some point. I can't remember exactly when, but long before Rolex. For example, they've been to the moon, they've been under the ocean. They can do everything really. They make precious metal pieces, they make stainless steel pieces like this, automatic, quartz, mechanical, chronographs, all sorts. Just an excellent watchmaker basically. I would consider them personally as being one of the most famous watchmakers in the world. They quite often, obviously they were at one point part of the NASA sort of thing, and they've also been part of other sports as well. I'm not entirely sure what, but it's one of those symbols that you do see in the same way you would see the Rolex symbol for, you know, whatever it may be, whatever sport you were fairly likely to see. Omega, Tag Heuer, it's kind of one of the upper level watches. So this here is the piece I'm going to talk about today. This is the Omega Constellation. Now, this is what I would probably consider to be the male size. And because I'm really unprofessional, I can't remember at what size it is. However, this was bought from the men's section in Goldsmiths, which is a jeweller in the UK. It was a used piece. I didn't get it new because it's vintage. And they weren't exactly sure about its age. It did come with papers, but it didn't have a box. So I did get it for a very good price, and I was very confident in buying this because it was from Goldsmiths, obviously a authorised dealer of Omega, and it was fully serviced and looked at, and obviously in superb condition. So probably just specifically talking about this model, the Constellation, is pretty cool because it's I'd say a very obvious standout sort of design. Usually, most of the time I've seen these in the wild, it's been on the wrist of a lady rather than a man. This is the only one I've seen that's worn by a man, and that was by me. I'm sure there are more out there. It would be great if anybody does wear one of these. It would be great to hear from you below. But yeah, this is mostly worn by ladies that I've seen. I'm going to put it on just so you can get the size of it. So this one's obviously probably, you could say it's a unisex piece, but it's more on the side of a man's size, I would say. Typically the ladies' pieces, Constellation pieces, are 27mm and above, slightly above. And the ladies' pieces are often made from precious metal as well, usually gold or rose gold, and you could get them in full gold, you can get them in two-tone. I'm sure they will make stainless steel as well, but I'd say most commonly you see them as a two-tone ladies' piece. They do make them in quartz, they do make them in automatic, and this one here is an automatic, and that was one of the reasons I was interested in it. I do like quartz pieces too. I've got nothing against quartz, but I did love the idea that this was automatic because most of the ones I've seen are quartz. So, as I always tell you, the camera quality is very poor on this iPhone, so I'm going to try my best to give you a good picture of it. You might be able to tell by the way the dial is playing with the light that it is a sapphire crystal, which is great and what you would expect from an Omega piece. And I would be fairly confident in saying that would be something that all Omega watches would use. apart from the ones where it's specifically designed not to be sapphire. For example, the Man on the Moon watch, the original was Hesalite dial, because if you were to use glass in space, it would be very dangerous if it broke. So, for example, there are some pieces which are deliberately designed to be made not from glass or sapphire, but most of them will be. So there. See, I do apologise for the terrible video quality. I haven't got a clue how to use this damn thing, but this one, as I said, is sapphire crystal. You'll be able to see the sweeping hand there going across. It's got a lovely smooth and sort of nice sweep. On the dial it reads Constellation chronometer automatic, so obviously it's very highly certified as a chronometer grade movement. It has the star there too, which is very hard to see at 6 o'clock. Obviously this is a Swiss made piece, all Omega watches are. The bezel has the Roman numerals around, and what often separates the Constellation is the way that the what is on the bezel. A lot of them have this Roman numeral, some of them don't, some of them have other things. That's what separates the individual design, is the what metals are used and the way what is on the bezel. The dials are usually fairly consistent, so in terms of layout and the pips that are used, or the numeral markers, I should say. Obviously there's no Arabics, it's just the buttons, as we would call them. The hands are thicker towards the stem, so the center of the watch, and it obviously has the date complication just there at the 3 o'clock position, which is nicely placed, executed really well. It's obviously with a white background, the crown here. You can obviously manual wind this watch as well, and it's quite a small crown, but it's very easy to use, and I'd say it's a perfect size for the watch case. The back of the case, along with all other Constellation pieces, has a observatory, which is a nice little detail. I think it's a bit of a flair, a bit of a design flair that you probably wouldn't get on a piece by Rolex, for example. Fully stainless steel construction. It has these, on both sides, it has these two, I'm not sure about the technical name, but they look like great big brackets that wrap around the whole watch case. I'm not sure if they serve any actual function, but they make the watch look very sort of secure. It's extremely well done to a high level of precision and quality, and the dial has like a guilloche pattern on it, which is very hard to see because of my disgusting camera skills. But it kind of gives it a bit of an AP Royal Oak feel. If you imagine the dial on a AP Royal Oak, it's kind of similar, the way that it's like a 3D dial, it's not just flat. There's here a solid gold Omega logo in the bracelet as well. Obviously serial numbered. My particular version doesn't come with a box, but the Omega boxes are really nice. I would say the only drawback to this watch is potentially that it doesn't hold value excellently well, which is typical of a lot of Omegas, unfortunately, and that's certainly not a reflection of the quality. It's more just a reflection of the craziness of the market. It's not based on sense, it's based upon desirability, and it will lose a bit of value. That's the only drawback. I would say it's as good as any watch I've ever held. It's incredibly accurate, as I've said, which is why it has the chronometer rating. The bracelet's really nice, and the clasp is really interesting as well. I haven't come across one like this so much before. So there's a button on the side which sort of deploys it, and then it has a slide down clasp like that. Really secure and strong and well made, very well thought out and well designed. If anyone's ever had a Seamaster, it's quite close to that. So the Quartz Seamaster reminds me of the clasp on that quite a lot. So it's just an absolutely superb piece. doesn't actually state what its waterproof rating is, but I would assume if it doesn't, it probably has none. But this isn't obviously a diver, it's not a space watch, this is a Constellation watch, so it's more of a, you could say it's more of a dress watch, it's not a tool watch so much. Obviously it has the link to astronomy somehow, more in design than practicality. I don't think, I mean, I might be wrong if you were to research it, the history of the constellation, there might be a reason for it, there might be a purpose for it, but it really is a fixed bezel, time and date piece with some really cool design flair, makes it a bit interesting. Really, really well made, and I think a timeless looking piece. I keep it in this here. This is an Omega service pouch. It does have its sort of card of authenticity and warranty. So it's got everything it needs. It was just a great buy, and I have absolutely no intention of moving it on. So this video is really just for anybody who is thinking about getting a Constellation and wondering what they're like. For me, they're a 10 out of 10 actually. I would love to see them with waterproofing, so maybe a 9 out of 10. With a screw down crown it would be great, because it is a stainless steel watch. There's a very fine line with this watch, whether it is a dress watch or a sports watch. With a screw down crown, it would be a lot more obvious that it would be a sports piece. So I'm going to leave it there for this one. I hope that gives people a bit of an insight. I would really love to give you some more high quality shots of this, but I'm useless with all this. But I do hope it's given you an idea, an honest idea of what the quality's like. Really, really worth it, because you can get them at a great price. And I think they offer a design for everybody, like Omega do with a lot of models. There's a lot of variation in the design. Obviously the fundamentals are there, but you can, change the metal, you can change what the dial looks like, you can change the little bits about the bezel, and there's various different sizes. So that's the Omega Constellation automatic. If anybody has any questions, please just let me know. Obviously there'll be a lot of things I've missed out on here, but I'm trying not to make the videos too long. And please do subscribe and like and stick around, and there'll be some more videos coming soon. Goodbye.